Well, guys, this is the story of Hagstrom Guitars, and I did a little bit of research on it. And this is Albin Hagstrom. He was born in 1905. He lived in Sweden, and when he was 16, he bought two German accordions, and he sold one, and he made a profit, and the other one he rented out, and he was doing well with that. So in the 20s, he started importing German accordions and reselling them in Sweden. And later on, he's got some Italian uh, accordions, and he helped with the design. He traveled to Italy a few times, and he was distributing them. By 1932, he was doing so well, he started making his own accordions. And by 1958, he started making electric accordions. And soon after that, he went into guitars. Now, people in the USA preferred the simplicity of a Fender or Gibson because the first electric cars he made had complicated controls. But there were some people who liked them. And the first ones he made had the Kent brand on them that he sold in England, and the other ones that he sold in the USA were Hagstroms. So I got a few pictures here of some of the people who played these guitars. But by 1983, due to the Japanese market, the company went out of business. And here we have ZZ Top, and this is the early Hagstrom right here, and it's a Goya. And then you have Brian Ferry from Roxy Music with a very early Hagstrom guitar, the Goya. There we have Jimi Hendrix playing. This is supposed to be a Hagstrom too, but it's not a Hagstrom too. And we have Frank Zappa and Dweezil Zappa played Hagstroms, and they were very famous, and the company used them up until the 80s, early 80s. And then we have David Bowie played the Hagstrom 3, which is I'm going to do a opening on it. And here's Kurt Cobain. He also owned a Hagstrom, and a Hagstrom 2, which is one of the early models made in 1964, 65, and 66. And here he is. He also had a lot of other guitars, but one of the band members had a whole collection of them. And they say that Ace Frehley's first guitar was a Hagstrom. And the album, David Bowie used the Kent guitar, the red one. Out. He played a 12-string guitar before he got into this glam rock period, and basically he used the guitar for photographs when he did the Diamond Dog album. And there was only one recording of him actually playing the guitar, and it's not plugged in. And this was Rebel Rebel that he performed on live TV in England. And here he is. And some things about Bowie. He actually had a rash in his eye, and he went for an interview on TV, and he was wearing a patch. And after that, people thought he looked cool with the patch, so he kept wearing it. Now, if you know Bowie, some people think he has two different eye colors, but actually his left eye has a condition where his pupil stays dilated. And that's the eye you see right there, the darker eye. And I guess the eye with the pupil that worked is the one that he's covered. So it seems like all that light came into his his dilated pupil eye. And this was a rendition of Rebel Rebel, and you can see he's not even really playing it, the guitar, but he looked so cool with it, and he actually made this guitar famous. And the one I ordered is from about the same time period, 1965. Maybe this one's a 64 because it had the Kent logo on it, the logo that was used in English guitars with the red tuner head. The ones in Central America had the plain wood color. And by 1963, Japan took over the Kent name, and they were using the guitars by Tisco was selling Kent guitars, and the quality really went down a lot compared to the Swedish models. And by 1970s and early 17s, they started making the Kents in Korea. So this is my Japanese Kent, and it was made by Tisco, and it's cool. It has a chrome plate on the front, and it has this really big tuner head that's like too big for the guitar, and they were made by Tisco. And this is actually the first guitar I ever owned. I bought it when I was like 13 years old. I saved money up from my own working in a candy store, and I still have it. And you could see the Tisco head badge on it. I had a model ship, sailboat or something, and I put these decals on it. And you can see made in Japan. And this one's a hollow body, but I still have it. I really didn't like it, and I saved up enough money to buy a Fender. And then here is a Korean Kent. You can see Kent. It went from that to that. And this guitar has a cool neck, but it was really cheaply made, and you could see the plastic is warped on it from age, and the guts of this guitar is from a Fender Squire. I bought it. It didn't work at all, and I wanted it to play, and this is what I do. So these aren't the original tuning knobs and pickups. They're not original, but it did fit. There's a little bump here where it didn't fit, and I did after I had this guitar. I saved up about $350, and I bought a Fender Stratocaster, and someone was begging me for that guitar, and I sold it to him. So unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. But the closest thing I have to it is this 62 reissue guitar, Japanese Telecaster, and it's a lot simpler than a Hagstrom. It has a 3-position switch for bottom, top pickup, or both. And these guitars were made in Japan, reissue around 1980 something, but that's the closest guitar I have to what my second guitar that I owned. So I'm gonna do a reboxing. I ordered a Hagstrom 3, and that'll be part 2. So thanks for stopping in, guys. God bless.